Hey everybody, my name is Mike at Filmboy24. If I seem excited, it's because I'm always excited when I talk about 16mm. And today, I'm going to show you what I got with this Vision 2 50D. So I took out my Arriflex 16S. I did it actually about a month and a half ago. I took a couple of rolls of film, including this 7201 Vision 2 50D. As some of you, as some of you may or may not know, 50D is my absolute favorite motion picture film. It has been for quite some time now. Vision 2, is a bit older, and I have a pretty good supply of Vision 2 stocks, and it was stored mediocre, so I get mediocre results, and I'm okay with that. I shoot film, I process all of my own film up to 100 feet at a time, and then I scan all of my own film on my MovieStuff RetroScan Universal Mark 1 unit. So I'm not a professional. My results do not always look professional, rarely. So don't expect it. I'm just a gangster trying to shoot some film. Yeah, I would never say that in the street. Anyway, so I took this camera, which is my favorite 16mm camera, only because it's so beautiful. It's pin registered, which means it keeps that frame real nice and steady, locked in place as it exposes each frame. I used my George Jensen 24 frames per second crystal sync motor for pretty much everything I do, even though I'm not using it for audio. Although I have used this. I have tested the audio, the sync on this. If you want to check it out, do so. I'll put a link somewhere for you. So I took this into my backyard. One thing, actually two things, that my backyard has an abundance of are gray squirrels. And the second thing you wouldn't think, because I have an abundance of gray squirrels, but I have also an abundance of red-shouldered hawks that like to hang out in my trees. We have a bunch of, big oak trees. So the hawks, the other day I went out there, and not for this, but the other day I went out there and there was 5 of them in my trees in my backyard. And I have a Chihuahua, by the way, so when we take her out, we have to really hover over her and keep a good eye on her. Anyway, when I took this film out, this particular roll, about a month and a half ago, there were a couple of hawks in my backyard and a couple of squirrels hiding. So that's primarily what I filmed with this. I love wildlife. I love nature. I'm an animal lover. Most of what you're going to see is with my 50mm. I did a tiny bit with the 10mm towards the end of the film. Again, it isn't perfect, but I never claim to be. Why don't we take a quick look, and we'll talk about it in just a second. Let's see the film. Nice hot cup of coffee. Almost as good as... Anyway, the film. Not too shabby, right? Didn't look too bad. I love shooting on 16mm, and I know I've promised you for the last couple of months that I will be doing a video on upgrading my Krasnogorsk 3, or K3 as it's known in many circles, to Super 16. I have the parts, I have not really the time, and that's why I haven't done it yet, because it's hard to find the time sometimes. That is coming. I kind of promise. I will also be doing an upgrade to my battery pack. Now, I built this Arriflex battery pack a few months ago. There's a video on it. I'll again do a linky thingy. If you're curious, this is an 8-volt battery that I built, or 8.4 to be exact, because that's what they need. It will run about, and I know this is going to sound pathetic, but I have done some tests with it. It'll run about 400 feet of film, so one magazine load, or about 4 of these. I do have the parts. There will be a Arriflex 16S battery build 2.0. I will be using the nickel metal batteries instead of the NiCad batteries, and they are also 1,000 more milliamps. So I'm hoping to maybe double it. We'll see. I'll do a video on that eventually, upgrading this battery pack. It works fine for me for what I do right now. Some videos here, or some films here and there with my Arri S, backyard filming, or just goofing. So look for that, version 2 coming soon. If you enjoyed this video, do me a huge favor. Yeah, you know it. You knew it was coming. Punch that like button. Subscribe so that you're aware of Arri S battery build version 2. Less than 30 bucks to build a battery. This one was around 22 or 23, I don't remember. And until the very next time I see each and every single one of you beautiful people. That was a long one. I'll see you on the next go-around.